So I'll continue and ask the question, who perceives the body's reaction?
Me.
When you say me, who is that one?
I don't know. I don't know. I cannot say who is this me. I say it can be a lot of definition. I checked this out very extensively. I didn't find any answer. Who is this me? I don't know if I want to call it awareness because it will not be true.
So if it's not awareness and it's not the body, what's left is the mind. The mind is the one that perceives the body sensation.
Okay.
Yes? So what happens...
Perceive the body and the body sensation,
yeah. So the mind basically reacts to the bodily sensation.
I'm not sure about that. If it's, I feel it's the other way around. The body reacts to the mind's thought. It's a closed loop. The body reacts to the mind, and then the mind reacts to the body. It's a closed loop, in my experience.
Okay.
But it starts with the mind. Starts with the mind, not with the body. It starts with the mind, go to the body, come back to the mind. The mind reacts now to the reactivity.
Okay, so that's accurate. There's identification with the thought. The body is reacting as an emotion in the body.
Yes.
And then the emotion in the body is perceived by the mind, and it's actually
there is another new activity.
The mind labels it, and it's resisting it, reacting to it.
Yes. But my question is why? Why is this reactivity even exists? That's why I'm trying to understand. Why should I be reactive to all kinds of things that appear in the field of awareness?
You're not reactive.
Where is it coming?
You're not reactive. You never move.
Okay.
You're absolutely silent and aware. And reactivity is the false identification of the mind because it forgot who you are. So now you have to examine if this entity is real. Are the thoughts real? Who is the one who is reacting? And isn't the reactivity is just an image or translation to an image in the mind that was perceived from the body? So isn't it the mind which is a thought reacting to another thought? Then you have to question and really learn, is this thought real? Is the thought that is labeling the sensation, does it really have a proof that the sensation is what the thought is labeling? Yeah? Let's say there is a sensation and the mind labels it anger. Is the sensation really anger? And how do you...
anger is a word you learn, something that you learn. Anger, if I'm not coming clean slate, I don't know what is anger. I know only pure sensation.
So the mind labels it anger. Is the sensation...
Yes, and it becomes angry to it.
Is the sensation and the label the same?
No.
And is the label is exactly the sensation, or it is a superimposition? It's superimposing attribute or a name, description on an object which is the sensation, that the sensation doesn't have this name, doesn't know this name.
No, the sensation doesn't know this name, but the mind sees a cause and effect reaction that repeats itself in a pattern, and then it can put a label on it. So I know this is not just an accidental sensation, at least from my point of view. You see the correlation between a certain thought and a sensation.
So now we go back to your original question. The more the attention remains in silence, the thought loses their real presence, which it never real, yet it appeared to be real. So the mind gets weaker and weaker and less false. There is less identification or false identification with the thoughts. So this determines the perseverance, determination, these two. The conviction of bringing the mind back to the starting point for where it arises from, examining the thought, concentrating the mind around the I thought. Because the more you withdraw the attention in, or the closer the thought to the source of light, which is silence, pure consciousness, the more illumination there is on the thought itself, then the thought loses the appearance that it is real. It is never real, and it was never real, and it will never become real. It just appears to be real.
Okay.
Do you listen to the satsang in Israel as well, that we put in YouTube, or the different sharings that happen that we put in YouTube? Do you really listen to this?
No, I saw just now the last one with some guy, sound like Texan or something. Just the one you put right now. You know what I mean?
No, I don't know.
There is a new one you just put on your Facebook page. That's the last one I listened to.
It's in English?
Yeah.
It's good to listen, and because you can understand other language as well, it's good for you to listen to the satsangs, so you can really internalize and soak it in. So, and as you listen, just try to almost remain in the background, passive, just like awareness is listening or seeing itself through these words, because that's gonna slow the movement of thoughts, and that's gonna get the mind to fix the attention on awareness, or awareness to fix the attention on itself in an effortless and spontaneous way.
No, I did feel more relaxed after it, to be honest. I felt there is more quiet. This was the quietest point of the day for me, after listening to the conversation.
And right now, what is going on inside? Can you explore and check?
Mix.
Okay.
There is a mix.
So can you be a little bit for a moment still? Kind of sit comfortably, relax.
Yeah.
And instead of looking out with the eyes, just turn the inner eyes, just as a metaphor. Look within and check what's going on. Is the mind active? Are there thoughts?
there is like a current. It's not on the surface, it's more like down.
Okay. And
That you feel that it's not quiet, still have all these questions.
okay. So please ask any question you have. Yeah, this is a very good question.
Hmm?
This is a very good question.
Good, yeah.
If you can allow these glimpses of awareness reveal themselves more and more, then it's a more gentle way for the mind to surrender and return to the beingness of who you are. It's like a magnet. Awareness pulls the mind in. You cannot force the mind within awareness because it reacts going out. So you just have to get the mind closer to you. And you, not as an individual, as consciousness, would pull the mind in. When the thought dissolves, it's an instant. Yet if it comes back and it dissolves, so that's what we would call gradual of the thoughts dissolving into awareness.
Yeah, that's why I'm asking if there is an end point to this, or it's all the time playing ping pong like this, what I've experienced playing ping pong, going in and out of the silence, instead of is there an end point for this?
How about we take a look at it as a gradual process for the mind being rooted, abiding, dissolving into awareness, instead of being attached looking for an end point. The one who's looking for the end point is the one that has a beginning and an end. And it's the one that reacts to thoughts that it doesn't like. So that's what we would call ego. The ego wants to get rid of itself, and what it wants to get rid of is from thoughts it doesn't like, and it wants to sustain itself by getting attached to thoughts and ideas it likes. So reactivity it doesn't like as negativity. So this it wants to get rid. And then it says, so I want this mind to end, so I, it's the same I, wants to experience silence. This is just an illusion. This is a trap.
No, it doesn't work. So is there something to do, or just let go and not to? What is best? If the ego cannot win itself, is it just let go, or make more effort, or what would you suggest?
When the mind goes out, bring it back. When the mind reacts, question it, discriminate it. Because it's 1 or 0. Either there is, when the mind reacts and there is false identity still, then if you don't question, you identify with the thoughts like it is you. When you question it, it weakens the false identification, and what you see in that moment when you examine, the seeing sets the mind free. And it's a piercing through, it's a seeing through, it's a aha, it's an understanding regarding the unreality of that thought that the mind was prior to that point identifying, believing it is real. It allows for them to open a space of gap that in that moment, if you look into the gap, is yourself looking into yourself as pure consciousness, as awareness itself. So it's a dance, yeah? When there is identification with the thoughts, which are habits, latencies, which means hidden habits that have to come into the surface if they do. There, the mind has to undo itself and examine and inquire and discriminate. When awareness reveals itself to itself, fix the attention on that. In the beginning, it appears like the mind is fixing the attention on awareness. Eventually, there is a recognition that actually awareness is attentive only to itself. So awareness, the attention of awareness is only on awareness. In the beginning, the mind thinks that it is doing fixing the attention on awareness. Even this notion falls away. This easily can be recognized when there is spontaneous awakening to yourself, glimpses of yourself, as yourself. And I'm not talking as an individual self. I'm talking about that which has no thoughts, that which is ever free, that which is the most inner being, which is you. It's the closest to you because it is you. In the recognition, there is no practice, no time, no effort. When the thought reappear and there's false identification, time begin, practice begin, effort begins. Be clear with these two. We can say one vantage point, awareness knows itself. Another vantage point, the mind identify with the thoughts, thinking it is a physical body, reacting to unpleasant sensation, reacting to unpleasant thoughts, unwanted thoughts. Yes? They require mental action. The mind undo itself and awakens from the dream. Even if there is no experience of who you are in that moment, the mind recognizes that the thoughts are not real. Just like waking from a dream to waking state, in the waking state, you realize in your mind that what was happening in the dream was unreal. So just be aware of these two vantage points, that's all. and they would alternate and change until there would be more stable, more, it's not stabilizing even, it's more, the presence of awareness shine through more and more and more. And in the beginning it appeared that you would be interested in it, your mind would be interested in it. Eventually you come to know that it's awareness interested in itself. It wasn't the mind. Its awareness is awakening itself, yet that's not really accurate. It just might be the experience. Because there's more allowance for the awareness to shine through, and there's less interest to follow the thoughts into a dream, feeding the energy of the thoughts like they are real, feeding the energy like the mind is going to gain something in the future that doesn't exist.
It's annoying that you see these things and yet they keep repeating themselves. It's even after you see this and you understand this, it's still there is this persistence, and that's what I don't understand.
It has momentum.
It's not like
it has momentum. That's all. Momentum means it has charge of energy. So if a car moves, it doesn't stop, dead stop. It has some velocity that still takes it until it slows down and gets to an end. Unless it hits a wall, even then it bounces. It doesn't stop. Yeah? And because the thought doesn't hit anything, it's just a movement within pure consciousness. Yeah? It perceives an object and reacts to it. It perceives another thought and reacts to it. That's what, in a way, appears it to stop. Or, truly, when it dissolves to awareness, it's gone. So, the habit has momentum, charged. I used to give an example. Let's say you have a dear friend, girlfriend, boyfriend, husband, wife, doesn't matter, child. Yes? Let's say the husband of the wife, and they separated. In the beginning, you only think about the husband, or you only have a thought about the wife, you have a lot of emotion, and you start missing the person, or negativity, or yearning to be together. It doesn't matter, whatever. Can be anger, can be yearning. Yet 10-15 years later, you think about that person and you don't have any charge behind it. So the charge just was diffused. The habits are like that. So if they come into the surface, only when you see that these habits are not real, which are thoughts, are not real, you would not get attached to them and feed their energy, or react to them and feed their energy. The reason why the mind reacts to thoughts, because it believes the thoughts are real. If you would recognize internally that the thoughts are just empty, they are non-existent, means the content inside does not really exist. It's just an appearance. And it's all a dream, imaginary. The mind cannot react to it. Then, the moment it doesn't react, it disappears into awareness. The most difficult for all minds almost is reactivity. Experiencing emotions, bodily sensations. The habit is to avoid it, resist it, fight it, wanting to get rid of it. And it's always the mind fail. So the attitude, or a better attitude, is be interested in it.
Being what?
Be interested in the reactivity means be interested to examine it. Be interested to inquire if this reactivity really touching the silence within you. If this reactivity is really you. And you have to check if prior to this reactivity you were non-existent. And when the reactivity is gone, do you lose who you truly are? And you explore your experience because you cannot deny your experience. What would you do if I would say, okay, do you really want and willing to see the truth in all cost?
What would I do? I would say yes.
Okay, then I would say, okay, in order for you to see the truth in all cost, I'm going to tie you down.
Okay.
I'm going to tie you to a device that physically you cannot move. You cannot move your head, you cannot move your legs, you cannot move your hands, and you remain conscious, means you don't fall asleep now. And now you have to face, means you have to see and look at every thought that appears and every sensations that arise and subside. Now you cannot move and go anywhere. The thoughts would appear and disappear, sensation come and go. The only thing you have left is to examine. Does it affect who you are? Is the coming and going appears on the background of what? Who remains in the background unaffected? Who is unshakable, presently aware? When thought disappears, what remains? This is what requires to search and seek the ultimate truth. Is to be able to look and witness everything that appears and disappears.
For how long do you need to do it?
As long as it takes. How about we say for the rest of your life? That would be a better attitude. Just check within you where you still believe a thought to be real. And when you believe the thought to be real, question it. In all the means that you can, with the most sincerity and earnestness, with the most determination, you just interested to question and find out if that thought is real. And when the next one appears and you identify, means you appear to be the same as the thought, you question that thought also. And when there's no identification with the thought, and you experience your true identity, which is consciousness identify itself as consciousness, then you just hold the attention on that. You don't have to say anything. We can stop for now and take it in. And I invite you, if you wish, it's only if you're drawn to, listen to the YouTube videos. Every day watch one even. We videoed some short ones today as well. And then listen to the videos. It will clarify things. It will bring questions into the surface maybe. Then we can take it further. It will deepen the inquiry inside you. It would bring clarity into your mind. And if it won't, then we communicate and I'll do my best I can to clarify. Thank you.